Look up in the air. Do I see a plane up there? No, but I have a secret love. It's called airplanes. Yep. I know it's funny, but I do like how they look. I don't like the fly, but I think I'm getting over that a little bit. I had a couple bad flights, and so there's good reason why I didn't like to fly, but I used to fly a lot, depending on what you consider a lot, I guess. But anyway, today I want to talk to you guys about being a farmer and being an airline pilot, or a homesteader and being an airline pilot. Because depending on the size of your farm, you may want to consider a second career or side gig as an airplane pilot. Because sometimes what happens is you can get like a little plane and you could have fun, say if you're a YouTuber, maybe videoing with a friend, or I know they have drones and everything, or you could do some crop dusting or other aerial work. That might be something you might want to look into. Plus, if you are already an airline pilot, like for a small plane, because a lot of farmers might hire a small plane or get their pilot's license. If you're doing that, you may want to consider upgrading to a commercial license. And if you ever decide to stop farming, you can become a commercial airline pilot. I'm sure there's lots of hours you have to put in and that type of thing, but I think it's always good to have a side gig, something at times that's not even related to what you're doing, but you're genuinely interested in it and have a passion. And I just love airplanes. I think they're pretty cool. And I know that I have friends that have a small airplane. I know Clay has friends that have a small airplane. Around here they have this thing where you can have breakfast and the airplane pilots might take you up for a flight for fun. It's kind of a cool thing. I haven't been for a while, but they have like a breakfast and then you could look at all the small planes and things like that. And I believe you can even rent a plane. I don't know about locally, but some guys, like maybe whether getting their pilot's license, might rent a plane to learn and that type of thing. I mean, you'd have to look into it. But the thing about it is don't get yourself stuck in the rut or corner where all you know is farming. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but sometimes it's good to expand your horizons, because you might be like me. I've had lots of different things I've done in my life. You might start off farming and you might start playing around with a small airplane, and you might find that it pays for itself with things that you do to help other people, like maybe you're crop dusting, maybe you're taking pictures for realtors of properties. It's like a skill that's not as easily attained, and you have to have a passion for it. And maybe you love drones, and you want to say, gee, I just love this so much. I never expected it to be so much fun. And you might say, I think I'm young enough. I think I'm going to try to become a commercial airline pilot or a private airline pilot. It's one of the safest forms of travel, believe it or not. You've always heard this, but it is. And some of those planes have been going for years, and it's pretty cool. But, I know people have a lot of fear of flying because they don't like the idea of being up in the sky and not being in control. It's more of a control thing than anything. But it is truly the safest form of travel. And there are some beautiful planes out there. But as a farmer, which is what I'm kind of wanted to gear this towards, if you have big property and if you are paying someone to be a crop duster, or you might have a need of it, you might want to consider putting in your budget lessons to fly a plane and take it from there. See if you even like it. It might be something that you try and say, it's not for me, or I absolutely love this. I'm made to do this this is where I want to go. You could, you know, somehow, like everything else, cars and everything else, planes are sold back and forth, and some people buy boats, some people buy planes, some people buy farms, you know, and usually when you find something you love, you know, a man's gift makes room for him. Somehow it finds a way to pay for itself. I know I've talked about some odd things at times, but I've also seen the fruit of that at times, because I like creative ideas. I like things that are unusual. And sometimes I've had a wild life because of it. Weird connections, weird things that have happened because of my love for a lot of different things. I have friends all over the world, good friends, from things, just activities. So like I said, you decide you want to look into flying a plane, might be a dream. You might want to take the next step. Pick up the phone, call someone, and find out how much it is to take lessons in your area. I mean, if that's the first step, maybe you might wait a year, maybe you might do it tomorrow. And then you might, you know, find yourself out there charting your plane to other farmers. You might make connections to buy animals. You might do trade-offs with people, like, hey, if you do this for me, I'll let you use this field for a year. I mean, all kinds of possibilities. You know, as a farmer, you've got times when you're working on things. You could be working and praying and thinking and asking God for creative ideas. But, you know, these are things that I think are interesting. You could start a YouTube channel on being a crop duster. You know, I haven't seen one of those yet, but I guess I probably need to look it up. But anyway, I've been doing a lot of reading, doing a lot of little things, and I'm interested in airplanes, although I don't know at this time in my life if I would get out and be an airplane pilot, but maybe if somebody offered me free lessons, I certainly would not reject them. My husband, I think, would be awesome at it, actually, but, you know, but you never know. You never know where life takes you. You know, all kinds of cool things can happen if you just are open, as long as you're not, I mean, you got to use a little common sense. Like, I'm not really into skydiving right now because of my age, but if I prayed about it and really felt peace, I might take the leap. That would be a leap of faith, right? But anyway, there may be some of you out there that may be young, or maybe you're old, maybe you want to do it when you're retired. But if you're young especially, this is a wide open career for you. You know, maybe you yourself aren't interested in it, but maybe you have a kid. Maybe you have somebody thinking about college. Maybe this would be a field they're interested in, and it could benefit your family. If you're in the farming, you know, they might meet people in other parts of the world that are selling their farm. I mean, there are so many possibilities with this. It's unbelievable. And so there you go, guys. Think about that line of work. Think about if you would ever want to become an airline pilot, and you know, be open for it. Like I said, if that's something you're interested in, if you know a pilot or interested in doing something like that, let me know what your thoughts are about it, because I love airplanes. I mean, I just love looking at them. I like walking through them. I like thinking about them. I like watching them. I really don't like flying, but I think a lot of that was because of I had bad earaches before and stuff. But I think I've got that situation resolved, and so I probably love flying now. But it's cool to look out the window and be above the clouds, and you know, even the turbulence are cool once you get used to it and realize that nothing's going to happen, you know. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Next time you see a plane, just think about that. And if you are an airline pilot or a pilot or something, you know, comment below as well and let us know if you like your job, you know. Okay, guys, so remember, big or small, you too can be a backyard farm.